Hey everybody, welcome to a very special Big Brother live feed news and spoiler shows where we are joined by your favorite, Karen, because I need someone who's gonna keep it real while we talk about this craziness. Of course, if you guys want to see any of our other past shows with Karen or about this season, or even Karen from Karen's season of Big Brother Canada 6, all over on our website, but you can get to that at yourrealityrecaps.com/BB19. If you want 24/7 live feed updates, they're over on Twitter at BB19 live feed, and flashback times, which I always update after this show, are at /BB19 flashbacks. Of course, you're watching this live right here in YouNow, but if you want to watch it back later, or watch us do them live, I mean, make sure you head over there and become a fan. It's totally free. You can become a fan of us there and Karen on YouNow, and then you'll get alerted anytime we go live. Lastly, if you want to help support our shows, consider becoming a patron. yourrealityrecaps.com/patron. You get access to the patron-only shows, prize giveaways just for patrons, access to the patron-only Facebook group, and this season we do after shows the first time the house guests are on, so you get like one-on-one time with them. But really, it is what keeps us being able to bring you guys shows. So check that out, or you can always do a one-time donation at yourrealityrecaps.com/PayPal. Eric, shut up. Where's Karen? Here she is. Karen.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I think you are officially co-host status with the amount of times that you're on now.
Nice. Yay.
You get to be co-host. Like everybody was saying, you have to get Karen, you have to get Karen. We want to talk about all the live feed drama, and we need Karen to talk about the live feed drama.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you, because you know I like to talk the petty shit. I should have brought my pots and pans.
I was thinking that too, but I have really nice pots and pans. Like, do you have pots and pans that you wouldn't care about banging?
No.
No, see, I don't either. So no, Josh.
But remember we said that I was going to do the raven hair?
Oh, that's right. You did say you were going to do... It's okay. Don't do the raven hair.
No. You didn't give me enough warning, but I don't want to wear the raven hair anyway.
You don't do it. Well, do you want to just start there? Do you want to start?
Yeah.
Should we start with Raven?
Yeah.
What is your thoughts before we get into the whole fight? What are your thoughts on Raven at the moment? You know, there's been a lot of controversy on Twitter since we talked last. Is the illness real? Is it fake? Is her family exploiting it? What do you want to say about it?
Well, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I have the brain of a goldfish as
Right.
far as memory.
Would you like me to remind you?
But I did pick her as my first out.
You did.
I wanted her to go first out. I still want her to go first out. I knew she was going to annoy the shit out of me. I told you that.
Mm-hmm.
The Hello Kitty, the everything. And now that I see it daily, I swear to God, I'm like the fandom. I can't deal with it. I'm sorry. I'm a horrible person, but I'm thinking, let's help plan the exit and demise, please.
But here's my more specific question for you then. What is it that you don't like about her? Like, is it just her personality that you don't like, or you not like? Okay, go ahead.
You remember BB Can 5? I had the Fabs. I called them the Fabs, the fake ass bitches.
Right.
This is a Fab on a new level. It's like McVictim, McDrama, McBitter. She's not a McBitter. She's a McDrama, McVictim.
Okay.
She plays that victim role. It's like, get the violin.
Mm-hmm.
I can't deal with it with the Alice Cooper makeup.
Okay, so let me ask you then. I'm gonna ask you point blank.
I know I'm going to hell. Let me just say, people, before you start dragging me, I'll be in hell, but me and Eric have already discussed this. We'll be there together.
Well,
so if you like Raven, you probably this is not your show.
It's look, all the fun people are gonna be there. So to be clear, point blank, Do you think that Raven it has the terminal illness that she claims, or like do you think she's gonna die from whatever it is that she has? Like she's saying.
I know a lot of people don't know me,
Right.
but we have to pass psych tests and medicals. And I'm not talking like just a whim of a thing. You have to go through extensive shit to get on this show. If CBS, and CBS had nothing to do with our show, but if CBS or any big production company thought for one iota that there is a slim chance that this woman was in some grave, dire, terminally ill condition, this is not the Miracle Wish for a child. This is Big Brother. They would say, sorry, next. We're not taking the liability. I know that she has the pacemaker and she has this disease. I'm not disputing that. But she can't possibly be as gravely ill
As she's saying she is. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of fans of our show say they have this illness and stuff,
Yes.
and they say it's not a death sentence, so they don't know.
And it's real.
Yeah, it is real.
I believe this. And anything like diabetes or, celiac or anything that is some cumbersome health issue, which I believe that this gastio, whatever the hell it is.
Right.
But you're not terminal. Or
Right.
you wouldn't flip and be on Big Brother. I'm just saying.
I kind of agree. And I mean, as we're going to see when we get into the fight, like, I don't know that this is what you'd want to be remembered for, is how you're acting on this show. If I was dying, I wouldn't want to, is what I'm saying.
But I can be the first one to put my hand up on that deal too, because sometimes emotions run overload and I completely flipped out on my Monday meltdown. And my husband and my family have still said, like, you lost so many fans at that point. You didn't win everybody back. And it is a pressure cooker. So I can understand somebody flipping out. I will defend that part of it because you get over the fucking edge in there. You really do. And there's one thing that'll just set you off. So that being a player, I can't drag anybody for because I've done it myself.
I'm not saying necessarily that one blow up. I'm kind of talking about her whole entire Big Brother experience. But let's go back for a minute because I guess where we left off with everybody was we saw on Thursday Paul win the HOH, of course. Were you happy about that?
No, God, no. You know I'm not happy about that. And we liked Paul last season.
We did.
Now, I haven't talked to you too much about this. So tell me, first of all, give me the up. Where are you on feelings of Paul now? Because we both liked him a lot.
Here's what I think about Paul, right?
Okay.
Number one, I think that he is playing a great game, but you can't discount the fact that he's played a great game with complete protection from production for the first 3 weeks. But then the little asterisk under that is, would it really be fair if they didn't protect him for 3 weeks, being the only returning player, if you want to start the game on an even playing field?
Okay, well, I guess we'd have to go to the powers that be to really ask that. But it's like Jesse in whatever his season, Mr. Pegtacular, came in and got the one HOH.
Right.
It goes to show that Big Brother is a social experiment. You need to win comps, but you need to stay in the house and you need to have a social game.
Right.
That's how I feel about it. Is like, if you have a social game and you're going to play the game to get to know people and get alliances and work and to stay in that house, you don't need to be given 18 weeks of safety in a 10-week series or whatever. I don't know how long it is. But
ours is way longer than yours. Ours is 4, 8, 12. I almost want to say like 13 weeks our season is. So
and ours was 10.
Was 10. So he's playing the same amount of time you could argue that you guys played after his safety is over. But still, I agree with you. I always used to love returning players.
Yeah.
But this season, I just feel like it's everyone's playing Paul's game. And
totally.
I don't like. It's not entertaining. But I can't blame Paul for the situation that he was set, he was picked to play it. So what is he going to do? No, don't give me money. No, don't give me this chance.
Oh, of course. I don't blame him for that as well. Like, I mean, most of the people, I'm sure, like, if the phone rings, they're jumping in to go. Put
Right.
me in, coach, put me in. So
Right.
I don't blame them for that at all. But I do think that it has gotten to be where it's not that enjoyable. It's like the sheeple. I'm sick of the sheeple act. I'm just so over it. I can't stand it. And I don't dislike this person as a person. See, here's one thing from being a player that I can relate to now.
Right.
I can say, like, it's okay to dislike and like people and then get along after or don't get along after. Who fucking cares? I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to like people and not like them. Like, we have to get to other players in this. I mean, I started out not liking people and I like them. Whistlenut. I like Whistlenut now.
To you.
And then in the last day, I think, well, I'm still kind of on the fence with you. Cody and Jess started out very strongly. Like, they got to go, they got to go. Now it's like, no, you got to stay, you got to stay. You got to take Paul out for us, please.
Right. Well, I mean, all right, so let's fill people in. Paul nominated after telling Jessica and Cody, I'm not going to, or he didn't directly say, I'm not going to nominate you. He was very good about twisting it and be like, well, you guys have a power, so you're fine no matter what I do, right? And they're like, yeah, but then he nominates them. Then we find out about the Temptation competition. Were you excited about the Temptation competition?
Well, again, I don't know if I'm that excited. And I think knowing the show, did they just, those four randomly go in there? Or was there some kind of manipulation on that part? And why Cody and Jess? I didn't get the fact that Cody didn't play in it.
They decided if they want to play. That's why it is such a huge thing for Big Brother. For the first time ever, Big Brother said to them, you can decide if you want to play in it. Jessica and Cody decided to sit out of it to prove to Paul and the other side of the house, we trust you, we trust in your plan. Because they'll all do whatever Paul says, all of them.
I know, it's so disgusting. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. And then I saw the fact on the feeds that Cody was saying, no, I need to compete. And Jess pretty much talked him out of it.
Correct.
Bad move.
But in her defense, because I've been loving Jessica this week, and I know that's not a popular opinion.
I knew you were going to change.
I'm loving Jessica this week.
I knew.
But in her defense, she felt like you were gone for a week. I rebuilt all these relationships and I've been rebuilding trust. And now you're going to come in and be like, nope, I'm competing and ruin everything I worked for. So I can see why she is frustrated in that situation.
I can see, but that means that she is trusting more in Paul and the sheeple than her showmance. And that's what bothers me about it. And just even the conversation she was having in the black bikini about, trying to make the deal and wanting to get Alex out. And, I don't want you to say anything rude about him and all of that. That conversation, like, I just think of strong showmances and I think, wow, those conversations wouldn't even have taken place. I was very disappointed in that with her because that shows the loyalty. If she needs to throw him under the bus at any time, she will. And then she's going to back him over and reverse him and run him and hit him again. And that bothered me.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And just so everyone knows, I'm just trying to get us caught up to the fight. We're going to spend a lot of time talking on the fight. I know we kind of talked about these points, but just for the people that might have missed it. So, Temptation competition, it was Ballerina. It was Mark who won it. So the people that played were Mark, Alex, Matt, and Whistlenut. Right. Mark ended up winning, so nothing can happen to him this week.
That's right.
Whistlenut lost. He's automatically a third nom. Yeah. Now, everyone, here's where the spoilers come in. So going into the POV competition, what's going to happen? It turns out, Karen, it was the same competition they played that Paul won last season.
Yes. And yeah.
It was the BB Stormwatch comp.
That's what I heard.
But, look, I feel like they're trying to make Stormwatch a thing, the way they're trying to make Bollerina, oh my god, Bollerina a thing, like OTEV. I feel like they're trying to make Stormwatch a thing.
So that's going to be one of the continuous ones. They expect it.
I feel like it's going to. So if you want to make the least amount of social media drama, then when do you play that with Paul in the house, the previous winner? Play it on the week when he's at least HOH, because then maybe people can't say, you did it to save him on the week when he was in danger.
Yeah,
like,
true.
I kind of feel like from a production standpoint, maybe that's why they did it.
Okay.
I think.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
I don't know. Okay, so he obviously wins it again.
Yep.
And lies to Jessica and Cody.
Yep.
And removes Jason.
Correct.
This is where it kind of the beginning of the fighting starts, because Cody and Jessica went up to his room and Cody was all, fuck you, Paul, you're the devil, you're a sheep, you follow all these people, you're a monster, blah, blah, blah. And then Paul's like, get out of my room.
He was like, get. Get away from me. Yeah, go. You go. Very dismissive.
So then Paul comes up with this kind of genius plan where or maybe it was before, he wants to get Jessica not to use the hex.
Yeah.
And kind of make her choose between the two of them, but then thinks, no, that is a bad idea. It's a bad idea. I just want to flat out convince her not to use it.
Yeah. And he thought he did.
And he's like, and then we'll just take her out.
Yeah. He thought he did at one point, and I was even starting to think, have they figured this out? I was like, oh my gosh, like seriously? Jess, wake up. That's where somebody came in with the bullhorn idea, right?
Well, I mean, that was later into the
wheels started turning, like, we better get a bullhorn out there.
Well, yeah, amazing when Jessica calls for, like, I need a sign that the bull. And I know some of you are like, Eric, your timeline's a little bit messed up. I know, everyone. We talked about all these on the last show. You can watch. I talked about all these points on the last show in depth. I'm just trying to get us to the fight, which we're pretty much at right now. Yeah. So. Okay. Now, Paul goes to talk to Jessica because he's like, hey girl, are we still good? And Jessica basically tells him, I'm not playing the Paul game anymore.
Yeah.
She's like, I know what's up. I'm not doing it. Yeah. It was very clear. And the second you do that to Paul in this game, ask Dominique, ask anybody.
Oh yeah.
Then you become the target. So Paul just went, voop, target on Jessica. Let's go.
Absolutely. And next up is going to be Matt, because he's been questioning.
I think Mark first. I think Mark will be Paul's next target.
Okay, so it's okay. Well, I think it's going to be Mark or Matt.
I think Mark before Matt, but I think he feels he can control Matt more than he can control Mark. So what was enraging me as this fight is starting to build is Paul is literally like, Josh, now you're going to go bang pots and pans, and I need you to annoy them with pots and pans. Alex, I need you to go and start a fight. I want you to start calling out about your patio.
Start a fight.
Go down there, start a fight. Now, Whistle and Kevin, you two can just be in the background, like, but you can't hide. Don't go to bed. I don't want you going anywhere. I need you to stay in the room. Now, Raven, I want you to just flip out. You just flip out, Raven. And then he's like, I don't control people.
I know.
What do you mean I don't control people? So then, of course, Alex starts going after Jessica, and they start kind of fighting. And that's when Raven really, started losing her shit. But here's my question, and I don't know if you know this, Karen, and I'm sure the chat room can fill us in. Jessica was sticking her fingers in Paul's butt?
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Why does Paul keep mentioning that?
Cody's. It was Cody's.
No, that was Nicole. Cody's who? Cody. Oh, what?
They were
No.
talking about all of that. What?
They were. She did it with a lot of people. Tawana
Yes.
Wana Wana is saying in the chat room.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they were just playing the poke game. I think they were just like poking each other, and then sometimes, oops, it's in your butt. Whatever. Here's what I don't respect. I don't respect this aspect of Paul's game. Don't
Okay.
like go along with something for 2 weeks because you think it's funny, and then the second you start to have a problem with someone, you're basically going, I was violated. You didn't think you were
Yeah.
violated for 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
I don't like when, like, I feel like Paul, where I like his gameplay, I don't like when he starts looking for like these loopholes to like get people evicted. Like, oh,
But
they
he is
touched me.
looking a lot for
He-
loopholes.
he is.
He's looking a lot, and just the whole thing with, him not having the complete control and power over the hacks and saying, I need to get into the DR. I need answers from them. Like they worked for him. Like that really started it a couple days before. And it was like the ego, it's like blowing up a balloon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like so big, and it's like, please somebody pop it. Please pop it.
Well, I think it's funny that people are like, Paul is not being a puppeteer. I have photo evidence that he's literally using Raven as a puppet right here. She is literally the human puppet for Paul. I just thought it was, she's like, I'm gonna kill you, and Jessica, you're the devil, and no, and you know, and like banging on the table, and like, that's not what you said, and that was week one, but just ridiculous screaming at her for no reason, and then the pots and the pans with
Oh,
Josh.
I know. I know.
I find it funny. Like
I do too. I do too find it funny because you want the annoyance factor. If you're playing, you want somebody like him that's going to be creating that, because then
Right.
you can be behind them and well, they're probably definitely going before me.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing. Like, in that moment, I was really on Jessica's side. When it was clearly
Yes.
her
Oh, me too.
against the whole house.
100%. And that she had the balls to stand up to him.
Right. And well, Cody sat there silent because Cody's done playing the game. He also did not comment or say anything during the POV ceremony. He just sat there. He wouldn't give a speech. Yeah, I mean, we don't know yet officially, but that's what
No.
we've put together from the feeds. So Cody does not want to interact with anyone, won't talk, won't defend Jessica, nothing. So that's why they were all like antagonizing him. They're trying to
Okay.
get him to go off and do something.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say. So what happens with people like Cody,
Mm-hmm.
and I've known a lot of military men, they go into their own zone. They don't need to be combative back and come fire and hell and fury like that.
Right.
They don't. He's actually, I think, doing a lot better and taking the high road. And actually, I think it's commendable of him to not go down that path when Paul is so ridiculous with him and his little sheeple at this point doing that. She, on the other hand, doesn't have that background, and she's going to get fiery as fuck because I told you in the beginning, if those girls started being real bitches to her and started going after her, fur would be flying, and it is. And I knew that was her personality, and it would come out, and it has. And good for her, because I don't want them both to lay down, but I don't think them, like Matt said today, trying to get a guy to overreact who kills people for a flippin' living. Like, what are you guys thinking? And it's like, exactly. He's not gonna go there. I don't believe that he will go there. They're not gonna push him. So I don't know if it's as much as really giving up as I know that that's what's being portrayed, or he is not going to play into their bullshit.
I'm gonna represent the other side for a moment because
Okay.
I felt very uncomfortable. Like, Jessica was there and defending herself against all them, and honestly, I felt everyone's reasons for attacking her were very hypocritical. Like,
Oh,
you're
totally.
all playing
Oh.
the game, so don't stand there like all of a sudden you're
Oh,
on the
yeah.
moral high ground because her
Same.
lies are worse than your lies that you told in the game that you all need. Whatever, and I get it. They weren't really
Okay.
going after her. They were trying to break down Cody, whatever.
Yeah.
But I also found it hysterical then when she went outside and they were all yelling and they were just having the side comments in the hammock. Like, what are they saying? She was just very funny
and
in the
then
hammock.
she's like, high five. She's like, give me a high five. And
Yeah.
then when Raven's yelling the stuff about his anatomy.
Oh, yes. She's like, what? What are you talking about? His little penis? Paul and Josh are dancing around the backyard in tutu. Like, they're doing everything they can.
Hey, were you not embarrassed for everybody on that side at this point? Were you just like, oh my God, what is happening?
I felt really uncomfortable.
Okay.
Like, and this is where I struggled with it, because normally I say it's a game and everything is fair in the game. However, I felt like Paul was rallying them up, and he was very specific of like,
for sure.
I don't want to give them a break, and you keep the pressure on, and you go out there and get in their face, and we want them to break, and I just felt like that's so... It just made me feel really uncomfortable, and it's like, if that's what you need to do to win this game, and you're okay with it, and then you're going to justify it by like, he's a bully, he's a mean bully, so I'm going to not only be a bully to him, I'm going to have the crossfire spill onto Jessica and torture her. I don't know. I didn't like
I totally
that
agree, Eric.
at
I
all.
totally agree with you. And the bully is the most overused word, and it's like, where's the friendship now?
Well, friendship isn't convenient now. But wait, because I originally said I wanted to represent the other side. So now I've talked to people about this yesterday, that I was feeling this way. And I think what the other side of it is, okay, you're just forgetting all the horrible stuff they've done up into this point.
I know. I keep hearing that as well. And people have gone back to the comments that Cody made, the homophobic comments. And I know that on your show, when I was on it, or that we talked about it, or you had another show that I was in the chat on, that is a real sore spot of contention. Definitely not acceptable ever. But it's like, what they're doing on that side, what's the difference?
I agree. What is the difference?
It's gotten so flippin' ugly at this point that it's like, but I honestly think because he's a vet and because he knows how the show works, and like, even I can only go back to my experience. I never played it up in the DR. I never basically just talked to the cameras. You know, this production value that they're all giving, it's like they have the whole insight, like, let's put on these shows, let's do this, let's do that. And I believe that Paul's doing that because he knows how it works, where even though I was a fan and watched the show, I didn't realize the magnitude of what I can see now that I'm just a fan again instead of a player in there. Correct. And I think that he's pushing them to that so he can get the reactions, and that he can try to look like, well, it's not me. At the end of the day, it's not me. It was all of them. Because I think he's going to do that.
Oh, he's been doing it. That's the part that kind of... See, first I think what the difference is when Jessica and Cody have... Like, if we're picking it apart, if we're going to pick it apart, I would say the difference is... The things Jessica and Cody have done, or more so Cody has said a lot of horrible things in the game, but they aren't, they were like a moment and then they were over, versus a continuous pressure building mob mentality. We're going to keep this going every minute, not let you sleep.
Totally.
That to me is a way that they're different. And believe me, I hate that I'm standing here defending Cody.
I know you are. I knew you would say that too. Of course, because at this point I'm thinking, okay, I still only like Kevin and Jason, like the best. Has Whistlenut grown on you at all, or no?
He doesn't get a lot of airtime because, so I mean, yes and no. I love him with Kevin. I will say I love the chats that he has with Kevin. Those moments I think are great. And it doesn't, I think if anyone's going to go against Paul, it might be him.
I do too. I think Kevin and Jason. And Christmas, I see a little bit of cracks in Christmas as well. But again, when Christmas was up yelling about being lectured with Raven, do you remember Raven and Matt and Christmas up in the HOH room? And then she's like, don't. Yeah, that was wild too. It was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know where this is going. Like, there's so many of them that I do not like. Like, but I love the show.
I
Like,
yeah.
don't get me wrong. When I say that, I don't want to sound hypocritical. This is what makes me a fan of the show. I love to hate people and then I love to like people.
Right.
And I love this roller coaster that we go on every year.
Me too. Oh, I always tell everyone at the start of the season. I think we all do. And I always say, it's Big Brother season. I reserve the right to be a hypocrite. Like, I hated Cody, and now I'm defending Cody. And I get it. Like, the chat room is saying, Alex fat shamed, Christmas said this. Right? Look, I get it. I get they've all done horrible things. Yes. We're just dissecting this moment because it's fun to dissect it. So,
well, I can only say as a player, I tried as hard as I could to never really take personal attacks. But, you know, outside of that one Monday, I was harsh, very harsh.
Right.
So it does happen. And I got drug inside the house and outside, and my kids got drug. So I'm never going to be like a total one way or the other because I know both sides of it now.
Right.
I told you when I came out of the house, I will never look at this game the same because I have played.
Yeah, I don't think anybody understands the game until you play it, which is why, I mean, Cody will test me on this one. I really try never to judge any of them until I see how they act in the real world.
Outside the house.
That is always how I've tried to do it. Now, Cody has let us in on some of his innermost thoughts about certain groups of people that I really disagree with. So I don't see how I'm going to like him outside the house, but sure, he can have a chance.
And I get that. And I get that because there's only going to be a handful of people that I'm ever going to talk to in my cast and like, and there's other people that people don't like and they don't like me.
Right.
Don't give a shit. Don't give a shit. You don't like everybody in life, people. Newsflash. You're never going to like people, and people will come in and out of your lives. But as far as entertainment value, I love this part of Big Brother. Like, this is what makes me a fan. And it's like, I love the ride and I love to be there, and the petty and the shit and the crap going on. I live for it, but it will be the true testament of how they are outside the house. And a lot of people still don't like me, and guess what? Don't give a shit. You're never getting invited over.
You should invite them over, but like charge them.
No.
Like charge them. You can yell at them. Make it like a little booth, like Karen will yell at you.
I don't even want to give them life, as my good friend Ika Wong says. I'm not even wasting the words. I'm not giving them any life.
That's why I just block people. And everyone's like, why you block them? I'm like, oh, because why? Why spend time?
I do that. Sometimes I like to say random stupid shit to them. You know, like, have you ever heard the story about the cruise ship when they say something really fucking stupid to me? And then I just throw something random out there and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah. Didn't think so. Bye.
Yeah. It's fun to confuse them and make them go, what? What are you talking about?
Is she stupid? Yes, I am. Actually, I'm very stupid. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, and block. So, going back to what you were saying in the a little bit before about the wall yeller, because again, everyone... We had a wall yeller. So when everybody was outside and it was, you know, like the whole house was kind of by the doors and playing pool, but then the yelling and antagonizing Cody and Jessica on the hammock, Jessica was kind of like, oh, I just wish there was a sign so that I knew what I could do.
Hey, but you think that was planned? You think that they sent somebody in there from production to yell that?
I really don't know.
Okay, I was going to say no way.
However, I think it's funny that a lot of people are saying that's what it is. Because it was, I could see how if you were looking for the conspiracy, you could find it easily. Because she literally is like, I wish there was a sign. Paul gets called to the DR. 10 minutes later, somebody yells, America loves Jessica, go home, Paul.
Yeah, but I heard that this bullhorn person goes there a lot and does this. And that somebody said, like, from Google Earth, you can see the location, that somebody could see easily where they could locate themselves to be able to blow a blowhorn over there to get a message. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but I love the conspiracy theory, so keep throwing them out there.
I have a feeling CBS is like, I think the studio is in a parking lot, so I don't know how easily you could get in
Okay, but
Bullhorn.
you know how the backyard is. Like even our backyard, there's, we don't have that big area like huge sky, but
Right.
oh, you could definitely, I could hear bobcats and things in the background or hear like workers. So you could definitely, if somebody was blowing a blowhorn and saying, Karen, Canada hates you, kill yourself, I would have heard it. Just saying.
So what you're saying is when you go back for All Stars, it's only like a 7-hour drive for me. If you're working with the wrong people,
You'll do the blow.
we'll, yeah, I mean, no, I would never do that, but we should come up with like a code word.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
if,
totally.
like you're outside in the hot tub and you hear, Paul's the best,
Yes.
it means don't trust your alliance.
Paul's the best, fuck the rest.
Paul's the best. That means, Karen, stop working with your alliance. I would
Yes.
never do that. I would be terrified.
Yeah.
I used to joke about that with actually Amanda. I was like, if you ever go back to All Stars, we should figure out. And I was like, no, I'm not going to be responsible for your game because I'll mess the code up. I, like you, have a horrible memory. I'll say the wrong thing. She'll evict the wrong person. And then I'm responsible. No,
Exactly.
no
It'll be
part.
all your fault.
It will. I'm not doing it. Okay.
Yeah. So I just also want to tell you that I did a scientific study. I did
Okay.
a poll on Twitter
Right.
that said Act 69 of the Paul Show, and I had it open for 24 hours, and it got like about close to 1,800 votes.
Okay.
And it was gotta go, love it, on the fence, or friendship forever. And an overwhelming 62%, I believe, 62 or 63% said gotta go. So the people that are voting, the fans, are sick of the Paul Show as well as us fans.
Well, here's what I have to say, Karen, and this took me a while to learn too, doing this show over the years, over the years, it's taken me a while to learn this fact.
Let's hear it.
The majority of people that watch your show or follow you on Twitter, I would say a majority of them are following because they kind of feel or they like what you talk about or the people that you like or don't like. My point is, I just think probably a lot of people that follow you feel how you feel about Paul, so that might be why.
Okay, now you say that, but every year CBS has the America's Favorite Player and all this other crap that you can go and vote
True.
on. And even though I'm an American, I can't vote on it because my VPN picks up in Canada, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I still always am in the majority of what these people want.
Oh, okay.
So I think that there's more truth to my scientific study than you think. I'm just saying.
Well, I will say I completely agree. I'm over the Paul I'm over the Paul
We're
show
over
too.
it.
I just want to see somebody start playing a game or make
I know.
moves that is not Paul's other than Cody Jessica. But you can't even say that for Cody and Jessica because only until yesterday, Cody and Jessica have been desperately trying to work their plans into Paul's plans. Granted, they don't have any other choice. What are they going to do? But still, we have had 1 month now of nobody doing anything other than what Paul wants every week.
Oh, I know. I'm Eric. I am so flippant over it.
I am too.
So over it. And I'm like, come on, people. When are you going to wake up? And another thing that is just driving me insane is how he's dissected everything for them with the splaining everything and how, listen, you guys, this is why it's going to be such a screw up because now you're not going to get to jury this week. And it's like, would you stop with the you're not going to get to jury and everybody's fine with that? Do you go on Big Brother to get to jury? Because I never for a second, I mean, I know you don't want to be out before jury because those are benchmarks as a player that you're thinking,
Right.
well, I want to make it to that. And when Arissa comes on or Julie comes on and say, you made it to jury, it's like, oh, good, I made that benchmark.
Right.
But if that's the end, that's the goalpost, these idiots, that's the goalpost.
I want to know. I want to talk to them, and we have Cameron on tomorrow. Cameron will be on tomorrow.
You do?
Yes, at 6:30 p.m.
The
Eastern.
poor guy.
Oh no, I love Cameron. Well,
He didn't get to play.
he played a little.
Oh, come on.
Well, you're gonna have to give us a question for him.
Okay, he played more than Mark, who you hate me for.
True.
But he didn't play. Come on. He was in there 12 hours and then he got to go sit in sequester and came for a battle back.
But you could argue if I was him and I was trying to find the positive in his situation, I would say only a handful of people ever got to play in battle back competitions, and I'm one of those people. So while I may have gone first, I've had an experience. Look, I'm just trying to help him find the positive in something because I really like him.
The kid is heartbroken over not getting to play. I don't know if he would have been a sheeple. Dom would not have been a sheeple.
No, but when you're not a sheeple, you go.
Megan quit, so
which you could say was directly because of Paul.
Thank you.
He even said it, his own words. He even told us he made that happen.
Okay, horrible. Okay, and I can't even remember which. I told you in the beginning I wouldn't even remember those girls' names.
Alex, Elena, Jillian. Blonde-haired Jillian.
I told you, and her and Elena, and I feel the same way about Elena. I don't know what it is. People ask me, I was on another show the other day, and people ask me why I don't like Elena, and I don't know why. I just don't. And I don't like that she did she have afternoon delight with the guy like for a long time, and now she's like run over the bus on him, like, and I'm not defending him because he is the incredible sulk, but I knew he'd have a tender heart. I knew he would have a tender heart because of his situation in his past life with being the orphan. So he just got to grow some gaunches. I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry too, because I disagree with you and I love Elena.
You do?
I do.
Oh, well, let's tell. Tell me why. Try to sell me. Try to sell me on it because I'm not feeling it.
I think she is playing a low-key game at the moment. And I think she was legitimately blindsided last week.
Oh, totally she was. Oh, yeah, 100%.
And that snapshot of it. I mean, I think any good Big Brother player, like I think the smartest thing any Big Brother player does is stays off the radar until jury. Don't be a Cody. Why are you putting a target on your back and making big moves week one? I think if I was playing, I would try and stay under the radar for the first few weeks until jury, because essentially those people that go out don't matter. They're not voting for you.
No.
Why are you going to put a big target on yourself? And usually the targets that are formed before jury are what carry through the game. So I would want to just lay back and be like, oh my God, Karen, that person, he's targeting you.
Okay, but everybody has their own strategy.
True,
you know that.
true.
Like me being the old person coming in, I needed to win HOH so I could talk to all them,
right,
or else they wouldn't have ever talked to me.
Very true.
And then Dallas turned around and tried to get me out to say, well, you're the logical one that should go because you put the kid up. And of course he got backdoored, thank God. But so everybody's got a different strategy.
Right.
But I just think she's still a sheeple. At the end of the day.
No, because she is.
You think she's breaking off? I don't believe it.
Well, she was. She was full on with Jess and Cody. They were willing to work together to go after that other side of the house. It's just, what do you do in the game when you realize you don't have the numbers? It doesn't matter what you win.
Oh, I know.
Or how good you're going to do.
Oh, I know.
You have to fold and be a sheep.
So is she going to be the alpha? Is she going to start getting into the mini alliances and saying, listen, you idiots, get a brain. We have to do something about this. We're not an 8-man team. When are you guys going to figure there's 2 that go to the end? Like, come on.
What I'm hoping she does is do that with Jessica and Christmas, because I would love a
Yes.
Jessica, Christmas, and Elena trio.
And I started to see a little bit of cracks. And then yesterday with the shit show, I think, okay, well, come on. Like, there's too much chaos going on. And these real good conversations and, strategies that need to be taking place cannot be taking place with all of the chaotic Paul's nonsense.
100%. But
Okay, good.
then the other problem is, though, Christmas is so far up Paul's ass.
Oh, I know. Oh, and I like Christmas.
I do too, but get out of Paul's ass.
Totally. And I keep thinking, and yesterday when she got completely bent out of shape, I thought, okay, it's starting. Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But again, like it takes time to foster into people's heads and little plant the seeds and.
Well, I see someone in the chat room brought up a very
Okay.
good point, which of
Let's
course
hear
I
some
forgot.
chat.
Well, it's actually my own advice, which I'm forgetting. I always say to people, so if you're going to be on Big Brother next season, exactly what you want to do if there's a returning player is crawl up their ass because you know they're going to be protected and they're going to be the main storyline as long as they're there. So if you are attached, if there is one returning player and Alyssa, Paul, you do whatever it takes to attach yourself to that person. You'll probably be protected along with them, and you'll definitely be part of the storyline. And the more storylines you're a part of, magically, the longer you stay in the house.
Okay, but Matt and Raven have been up his butt since the beginning, and Matt doesn't get Matt just started talking yesterday, and I'm like, who? He actually started talking and making some pretty good points.
He did.
And I would love if he disassociated himself from Raven.
Never
I
gonna
think
happen.
He's regretting that showmance a little. He goes into those stairs like, really? Did I do this? I see people's gifts online and I think, oh my God, I love you. I love you people doing this. It's so great.
I love it. He reminds me of somebody, and I can't put my finger on it. And oh my God, okay, don't kill me, everyone.
Okay.
I almost said, and I know you know, because I think you just do a show with Rob Cesternino? I almost think he's like a hot, see now, I don't mean this to sound bad, like Rob's not hot. I'm sure Rob is hot, but he's married and doesn't need me flirting with him. I feel like it's almost like a hot Rob. Like, he has like a little, like, I think that's who
Rob has such a personality, Matt.
I know, but Matt has the tattoos in the body I like more.
Okay, he does, but remember what I give him on your opening show? When
I know, you didn't like him.
I gave him a fuck him, didn't I?
You did.
Okay, and I'm taking Whistle Nut back, but I knew Matt, I knew him and Raven, I wouldn't like them. And look, they're the ones I dislike the most.
Yeah.
So I called it. I just want to say I called it. I didn't even know they'd be together, but look, they're together and I don't like them.
I don't like them together either, and I hope they break up.
Oh, me too.
So, I also want to say, because this is kind of what you were saying in the beginning too, with Paul, they were called into the DR. So Paul was called into the DR, Josh was called into the DR. From what we could kind of put together, it seems like they might have been told, is this really the way you want to be portrayed to America? Or do you realize you're stepping into the villain role a little bit? After that happened, then Paul had to go out to everyone, and I mean, he didn't have to, it clearly wasn't told, but he was like, maybe we should just stop. Like, we could still put Vaseline on stuff and screw with the coffee, but maybe what we're doing now is too much. And then, for the next 12 hours of yesterday, we had to have Paul retell the story to every camera in every room.
I had to keep turning it off, and then I'd go do stuff and come back. Because honestly, at some points I can't even deal with it. But you bringing that up, I was thinking about this when you had said, do you want to come on and talk about this? My famous friend, Gary Levy.
Yeah.
When M said about Cass, that's who the villain is. And Gary said, honey, you don't know who the villain is till you watch the show.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, yeah, that's this right now. That is coming true on this because Raven thinks with her sob story and her poor thing that's wrong with her, which is, it is really wrong with her. But this whole McVictim routine and, oh, yeah. And Paul be so beloved and loved last year, and I brought this up on Rob's show as well, just like Ned is so beloved and loved. And we all were like, I was living through it.
Right.
Please, somebody take this person down. And Ika did.
Yeah.
And that's how we feel right now. I think the majority feel that way about Paul because nobody likes that much hot air blown up their butt. It's just too much to handle. And Raven believes that everybody is feeling sorry for her and the GoFundMe. And, we've had the conspiracies with the tape cutting off with the doctor on Instagram and the Raven exposed party. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. If you want to sit there for days on end, and I think there's more truth to it than not, I'm calling, it's like, when I said in the house, you went from a fab to a pab on that move. Like, unbelievable.
And look, and I will say, Paul on his season, like Paul originally, and I think Amy brought this up a while ago too, Paul was not liked in the beginning last season. We were not on board with Paul in the beginning. His original one-on-one interviews with like Jeff and stuff, he was very much a dick. He was like, I go in the house, like he was like, I don't care about people and feelings, I'll cut your throat open. We did not like Paul in the beginning last season. Then we grew to like him.
Hey, and that happens a lot, like we said,
right?
With all kinds of types of different characters. But the whole playing up the production like they work for him, the talking, the vet-splaining, the minions ordering, do this, do that. Now you're doing it. It's just, I am so flipping over it, Eric. I can't even tell you as a fan. Please somebody take him down. Please somebody take him down. Please let them win HOH and get him out. And I know they don't have the numbers, but can somebody talk? Does anybody have the gift of gab in there to go manipulate and twist it and tell them, look, you're not all going. Why the hell are you trying to get to jury? Like, let's take him out. Seriously.
Do you think it's that we just like the underdog? Like, do you think
I think so. I think that's our natural inclination.
I think it is too, because I didn't like Paul, and then I loved him when he was the underdog of his season.
That we all love an underdog story. Everybody loves an underdog story. I think they do. We root for an underdog. We have that hope. We have the goodness for the person, and then once it turns, you go, when we throw them out.
See, I definitely see, like, overall, like, the chat room or the people that are diehard Paul in the chat room are all very much like, we love Paul and Paul can do no wrong. I think people,
I get it.
I think what they don't understand is we're not saying we don't like Paul. I like Paul the person, and I think Paul is playing a great game.
Yeah.
But also, in saying he's playing a great game, for me, I can't discount the fact that he was kept safe for 3 weeks, which allowed him to form bonds and relationships, which is why every single storyline is about Paul in some way. Because for 3 weeks, everything focused on Paul. Yeah, because that's the way it was set up.
I want everyone to know that as well. I liked him last year. I still like him.
I do too.
I just want people to stand up and play their individual game. Someone have your alliances.
Exactly.
Lie and manipulate and do some crap and shake your head and tell them what they want to hear and go around and plant seeds in others. I just don't want this big a follower game. This, like, what are we, day 41? Just at this stage, I just don't want it. I don't want it. I don't know what else to say. He has been given a lot of safety. I think he's been given a lot of information, and we don't have enough type A personalities in there. Control freaks. We need some more control freaks.
Right.
We've got a lot of followers.
And I mean, a lot of people compare this season to Big Brother 15. So let me all remind you about Big Brother 15. We all loved Amanda. Or, I mean, I don't think everyone loved Amanda, but Amanda got a great edit until the villain, Aaron, was sent out. The second Aaron left the game, there was no more villain on the show, and Amanda got edited into the villain. So don't be surprised, everyone, if, God forbid, Jessica, Cody, they leave next week, if you end up seeing someone else step into that villain role. Because essentially, Cody's has the villain role on the show.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I would agree.
It spills over a little bit into Jessica, but I think
I would agree.
They need a back and forth edit, and the back and forth edit is House versus Jessica, Cody. And when Jessica and Cody go, guess what the edit's going to be? The House versus Paul. And if you think that's not the edit that's happening, that is why I want people to start playing games. Because if there aren't other storylines happening, I'm telling you, it will become House versus Paul, and they'll let it happen.
Yeah, I think so too. I truly do. Because I said the same thing. Like, have these people sat by themselves or just in their groups or whoever outside of Paul and thought to themselves, okay, so we get out Paul and Jess. Then we're going to make Mark into a villain. Then Mark's going to be the bad guy. We got to get Mark out because he's a big guy. Because he can't win competitions. He's not that smart. So then we're going to get him out. Then they're going to go after Elena, Whistlenut, Kevin. Like, where is this going to turn? That's what I'm seeing. And who is Paul really going to become loyal to? Because Paul's gig is going to be up. This act is coming to an end very shortly, mark my words.
Right, exactly.
It can't stay going on forever.
Nope.
No. We're getting close to the end.
And here's the thing. I just think from a production standpoint, from a people, they want an all-stars. They even said, like Allison Grodner, producers have said, we don't have enough quality people to put an all-star season on. Well, if they don't let some other storylines develop and let America start loving some other people, then you could say this season is not going to have a lot of all-stars from it. How do you start doing that?
I've heard other people talk about that there's no way they do an all-star return because of all of the bad behavior of dealing with the vets on the all-stars. Like, do you don't believe there's any truth to that? Because I think that's one of the reasons why they do 1-and-1 and they don't bring back a bunch, because the demands are too high or there's just too much to deal with. Like,
it's not even that. I think it honest to God is every single year the budget gets less and less. And when you're talking all-stars, I think people want people to return like Danielle Donato, probably Dan Giesling, Derek. These people, and I don't know this for a fact, I'm just guessing, are probably going to be like, okay, 25,000, 25,000, 25,000. When you have to pay out 25,000 per person to these all-star players, I think it just becomes, why bother? People are going to tune in if we have 2 or 3.
That's why I think they're not going to do an all-stars. I think that the demands get too high, like you just said.
Right.
And people aren't going to do. I mean, I just was with basically an 8 vet, and I could see the difference with who expected what to be treated like what, and who did treat like other people and themselves. Like, I watched it. I lived it. I lived it for, 69 days in the Big Brother Canada house. So, yeah. I don't know. I think that's one of the reasons why they do it. Because, Paul this season and then Jason last.
Right.
And then before that, it was Jesse, right?
As returning players?
Yeah.
Oh, God, no. We've had so many more returning players. Nicole,
you had the coaches.
Season. And then, last season? James, Nicole, Devon. God. So every season... I think 17 is the only season we didn't have any returning player. And
was that the season that people didn't really like that much? So maybe that's why they brought them back. I mean, people do like the returning players. They like to see their favorites back.
I did. I always said, I don't care. I always want a returning player.
And me too. I like them. If it was like a fan favorite, I like that they can come back. But I think it should be more than one, don't you?
Clearly, after seeing this, I think it should be more than one.
And here's why. Because what you just said is the exact thing. And I know from living in the house, you have to have stories. You're putting on a television show.
Right.
If you have 2 vets or 3 vets, then you have different storylines. If you have one, you have the Paul show.
Correct.
Act 69 of the Paul show is so flippin' old at this point to me.
And that's how I feel about it.
So do you think that there's a twist that we might have another vet coming back in?
No. Did you watch the Helen show? Because that's what Helen thinks too. Helen's like, oh my God, they're going to send someone in. No, they're not.
Do you think because of what's going on, you really think they're not going to send anybody else in?
You think they paid a vet? First of all, if I had to guess, allegedly, I would say 15 to 25,000 is what a vet gets just to play again. You think they're going to pay someone that money and then pay for them to sit in a hotel room for the past month on we may bring you into the game later?
Well, they paid Kevin 25,000 to bring Paul back in. So, you know, we're talking, this is a huge production. 25,000 isn't that much. I mean, to us, yes. Please give me 25,000 US.
Yeah.
Because that's like 40,000 Canadian.
Yeah.
But
oh God, that was so great when I was there. I was like, yes, I will take a drink with that burger because it is like it's free.
Thank you.
I love it.
Okay, so what is the chat saying? They overwhelmingly love Paul.
I think a lot of reality recaps fans are huge Paul fans, as am I. I just think it's hard for people to separate the two, like, we're talking about this specific Paul incident, or we're breaking down this Paul. But yes, I think a large majority of them are basically still Paul fans.
Yes.
But I think a lot of people also will agree they're getting a little sick of it just being whatever Paul wants. And the part that drives me crazy is how, like, when Paul was riling them all up and was like, go outside, let's go, scream, yell. I don't tell you guys what to do, though, right? Like, he would, like, literally then be outside while they're all screaming and yelling, going, I don't tell you guys what to do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think they believe it when they're answering them.
I do too.
Because they're like, no, Paul, you don't. Thank you for showing us the light, Paul. It is like, you know when you like babysit little kids and you try and convince them that the stuff is their idea that's happening? That's
totally.
literally
all the time.
Wouldn't it be a great idea, Alex, if you started a fight with Christmas and then that would be your idea and that would create this change?
As a player, like, I can now go back as the player and think, why would that be a good idea for me? And even I know Josh is young because he's only 23, but I would be thinking, is this not putting a big target on me? Like, Paul's got a big target on him. Do I have a big target on me? Why am I buying into this crap? Do I have my own brain? Yes, I do. Why do I think this is a good idea? Because I'm a sheeple. Not a good idea. Like, I don't know. I'm just going buggy the last couple days over this shit. I really am. I'm just beyond myself. I'm like, I can't. And if Reagan, I just call her Reagan, the girl from The Exorcist, comes on with I said, Alice Cooper, make it coming to a store near you soon.
Right.
Come on.
I think the thing is, though, that you and I would play for different reasons, which is why I like older players in the game. I think we play for stuff like our families or our homes or something like that. I think when you have a 23-year-old in that house, it's like, how many Twitter followers, and if I go around and bang pots and pans, I'm going to have 1,900 gifts of me.
Even Kevin talking to Jason about that is like, my dad was in fucking prison, he's saying, I don't give a fuck how many Instagram followers.
Right.
Like, I'm doing this for my family.
Right.
I'm doing this for me, or as a challenge, as a fan. Like, I know he wasn't a fan, but we all go in for different reasons.
Right.
The last fucking thing I was ever thinking about was how many Instagram followers would I have when I got out? That never did that cross my mind that I can think of. Like, other people might have been talking about it. Like I remember, other house guests saying people are going to actually like you. I'd like you. And I'm like, no, get the fuck out of here. I was convinced people hated me. You know that.
Yes.
But I wasn't playing my game different because of it. Paul is playing his game based on what he perceives people are thinking of him. And I just don't think that's a good game move as we're watching and seeing. It's backfiring, Paul. It's backfiring.
Well, I always say my thing every single season is to win Big Brother, you have to play the house.
Oh, for sure.
100%. You have to play production because sometimes
you have to be careful of what you do say to production. I can tell you firsthand. And I was very conscious, even though I wasn't a vet, that I might want to keep, my cards close.
Correct. I agree
as
with
well
that.
as enemies. Yeah, I mean, you all learn things as you go along, but him explaining everything, that takes some of the fun as a fan out for me, that these people don't have their little virgin ears and eyes to learn this all themselves. That kind of takes it away from me. I want them to be able to stumble on their own mistakes, and they're not.
But the last part is you have to play America. Because while you and I are that kind of thinker, the large majority of the casual audience isn't, and they need it explained to them.
I give America, being an American, so much more credit than that. They can cut through the bullshit. They know the real deal. They can see a lot. You really don't believe, because this. I have watched every season and I was what you would consider a casual fan. And yet I still felt like the feeders do. And now that I'm a feeder and watching these feeds, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, the story is in the feeds, but I still feel the same way that I did as a player and I did as a fan. Get off your phone.
I'm just checking. Yeah, it is still 2017 and Trump still is president. So no, I don't think we're
he was a reality TV star, and
as long as I do
that it's always 50-50 in the U.S. Do you remember the hanging Chad? I voted my first election with Reagan in the 80s. So we're not going there today.
Do you know every time you say Reagan, I think you mean Reagan Fox from Big Brother. It
just shows how fucking old I am. I voted for Ronnie Reagan.
Ronald Reagan. Okay, so yes, I think it's a toss-up with Paul where it's going to go, and I think we just have to wait and see. I think we can all agree it's going to be shocking this Thursday. And how stupid do you think Jessica's going to have to feel when she has to stand up and read that poem live to America?
Oh, the 3 times.
Yeah, like, I'm a pretty princess, click my heels, like whatever the hell she has to say. Like, it's some stupid ass thing.
That is part of the stupid costumes, the ridiculous shit, the vulnerable person you are made. You are literally stripped down in that flippin' house like no other. I mean, I slept on concrete and ate that shit. It does crazy shit to you. But I don't believe Paul, this is an act. I believe that Paul, with his whole heart, believes his own hype is what I refer to it as. I believe he believes his own hype. And it's my good friend Gary Levy saying, you don't know who the villain is, sweetheart, until you watch the show. And I just think, we'll see.
I think we're just arguing semantics on this point. I was going to say I disagree with you on that, because I think Paul, game is game to Paul in real world is completely different. But I agree with you in the sense that I think he believes everything he's saying in the game. Like, I think he feels more like he's on the moral high ground with everything that he does in this game. Yeah, and
I do too.
Believes his justifications for everything that he does.
I believe that he truly believes that. And he believes that they have been the bullies and they're justified. and he has not done anything except basically defending the sheeple.
Well, he even said it last night. Our live feed updaters are so amazing covering it, which I read and was like, "Oh my God, Paul, get off the cross." He was like, I know some people, this is where it like gets annoying to me, like to the camera. I know that some people might think that I was being a bully also, but the only way you can beat a bully is by being a bully back, but a bigger bully so that they won't bully other people in the bully future. And I'm just like, oh God, yes, thanks for taking one for the team.
Okay, that whole thing is what I'm talking about that drives me the most insane. And if I did, which I compared it to childbirth, you only will go back because you forget the pain and how horrible it is. If I ever go back into any house and stand there and preach to a camera, when I come out, you guys can hit me upside the head with the baseball bat. I promise you.
We will get the bullhorn.
Get the bullhorn. I don't want to be a fab like that.
Right.
If I'm doing that, it's like I'm really not playing the game my true self. If I'm just trying to play it up too much to Canada or America, I think gotta go. I'm sorry.
And then I see, and I hear you say that, and I want to say, yes, I agree. And then I think, no, my own rule is you have to play America because we're going to vote on stuff. He knows we're voting on stuff.
I know, but they're smarter than that. They don't see through the fake bullshit.
They're not.
I'm never going to believe that.
Our audiences were super smart. The audiences that you grab. I mean, I feel like our audience is very smart. You're also on Rob's show. I think his audience is way smarter than ours. So you're just around the smart people, Karen. Trust me, there's a large majority that are like, oh my God, I bet that is exactly the truth because they're saying it.
Oh, I can't wait to see the edit on these shows on Wednesday and Thursday.
Oh, get ready. It is going to be.
I'm just so excited to think about it.
Oh, it is going to be so good. So let's start to wrap it up. I want to know who you want to win. Who would you? Not the game, or is it? Who do you want to win HOH this week? So
yeah, Kevin's not going to win HOH. Kevin's not going to put himself in that position.
No.
Who do I want to win? I want Jessica or Cody, one or two, and then I'd go with Elena or Mark.
Really? Jessica, Cody, one or two. I kind of agree with you.
Okay.
Or, wait a minute, Josh. No, because if Josh wins, then Jessica and Cody go.
It's just putting Jessica and Cody back up.
No, I agree. I rethought about it as soon as I said it.
We have to have a shift of power. We have to have a shift of power. And I don't believe that Elena and Mark won't go completely sheeple side again. So I'm Jody. One of the two of Jody.
Yeah.
Has to.
I agree because I think
the only way we get a shift.
Or we just repeat this week again without, like, it will literally be this week again. It'll be them two up, do the temptation competition, who's going to win it, but then this time they'll probably play in it, so then they'll win it. I don't know. I would like one of them two to win just for the entertainment factor of it all. And I don't, and Paul's not going anywhere until jury. Let's just be real about that. Paul...
Oh, no.
Everyone, Paul is safe until jury is officially started. They are not letting their Paul investment go away before jury. Paul does not get to go home and enjoy the rest of his summer. He cashed that check. He is theirs until the end of the season.
But you talk about Paul with his sheeple and getting to jury. Talk about gonna be a bitter-ass jury with Paul there.
I have faith he won't. I want to believe Paul will not be bitter if he gets out. You need to remember, I don't think...
right.
Why do you think people are bitter in a bitter jury?
Because they get thrown out of the house. That's why. Because everybody wants to talk shit about somebody else's games. And the majority of juries are bitter because they get their ass thrown out. And so somebody else isn't deserving to be there. I think that it should be like, more like a vote on, like America's Vote. I would love America Vote, who wins the game. Oh, okay.
But
whatever
then
you're
doesn't
saying.
production really because then production can
Yeah.
edit it for America to like whoever they want very
Or
easily.
production can make whoever win anyway.
True. I guess true. I guess you could argue that point. You could definitely argue that point. I think jury members get bitter not more so that they lost the game because they lost the money is why I think they get more bitter. And
Of course.
I don't think Paul needs money.
But it's part and parcel.
True.
It's the egos. It's the I gave up my whatever life for this. I put my family through this. I'm opening myself up. There's so many reasons. I mean, I didn't go to jury, but I can tell you that I was planning on, if I got to jury, if you listen to the feeds with Bruno, is I would have made sure that the person that I wanted to win the game would have been winning the game. Because I would have been selling it inside the jury, just like I think people that need to be selling it inside the game. So the sheeple act, I'm totally over with. No, there's so many reasons, Eric. It's the money, it's the ego, it's the you played a shit game, you got drugged there, whatever the story is that everybody tells themselves.
All I can say to you, Karen, is the last time we let America completely choose the winner, Morgan won. And point proven is
Okay, but
all
that was the OTT.
It's still America.
That's the way the game was set up. And how close was the vote? I heard it was very, very close. Because I don't know. I love Jason. I just want to say. And I've met Morgan in real life, and I tweet with her, and I met her in Niagara. And wonderful person. Right. I didn't get to see the series, but I'm going to go back now that I know how to watch the series and watch it. And I might have changed my thinking. I mean, I love Jason going into it. I loved him in his season. I love Davon in hers. With him, I love that whole petty act. I love that shit.
I would be interested to see what you think of
I'm going to
Morgan.
watch it this winter when I have, some downtime. Right now, I don't have a lot of downtime, believe it or not. And I've only been out of that house like 9 weeks, I think.
Well, I know, and I know that you need to go. So here is what I want to say. I love that we disagree on some things so that we can see the way it plays out and see who is right and who is wrong as the season progresses. But before I let you go, Karen, what are you up to? Do you have plans? Are you going to be live anytime soon? Like, what is going on in your world, how people can follow you, or what do you have coming up next?
So I'm on Twitter, IG, Snap, YouNow is Karen's Real. And my YouTube channel is Karen's Real 1. If you want to buy a Karenoia t-shirt from me that says, "This is why none of you fucking won," and I send you an autographed picture, you can do that at karenoia.ca. I'm going back and forth between the Shishwap and Victoria, and I am doing some work, and you guys will get to see some of my stuff that I'm doing. I'm helping doing some consulting and stuff, and you'll get to see that because I'm actually going to be doing something reality related for this up and coming casting, but not for anything to do with actual BB. So, because BB Can 6 is coming back. So I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler, but I can't tell you too much till it's all rolled out.
Okay.
But it will have to do with me getting on reality TV show and maybe some insight to that. And then I'm going to do a fan thing on YouNow because I said I would, and allow some audience, which are fans, to come in and talk BB19 with me. And I've promised that I'll do that, and I will do that. But honestly, I'm getting asked to do these kind of shows, which I honestly love the opportunity because I love to talk about it. So I'm busy, super busy, and lots of stuff going on.
Okay, so I'm going to put the links to Karen's stuff below this video so that you can follow her on YouNow. You can follow Karen wherever she is and everything that she's doing. The links will be below this video. And since you guys are in YouNow right now, just go ahead and follow Karen. Karen right now. You're in You Now. Then you'll be
Thank
alerted every single time she goes live. Thank you so much, Karen. You have fun traveling, and everyone in the chat room, we will see you guys later.
Thanks for having me, guys. Love you.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.